Welcome, everyone. We will wait a moment to see if any other participants join, and then we will start shortly. Hello and welcome to today's webinar on the topic of driving digital employee experience, how Skoda Auto transformed its global intranet with Liferay. I will now give you a few organizational details before I welcome our speakers on the virtual stage. You're all in listen-only modus, which means you're all muted and your camera is turned off. But you are more than welcome to ask your questions in the chat, and our two speakers will then be happy to answer them. The webinar will be recorded and sent to you via email afterwards. Now I'm pleased to welcome today's speakers. Hi, Andrea. Hi, Barbara. Andrea is our territory manager here at Liferay, and she's responsible for the CEE region. Barbara is the product owner of Skoda Space. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Alina, for the intro, and welcome everybody to this webinar session. Glad to have you here today with us. And also, dear Barbara, thank you for accepting our invite to present your Liferay use case and discuss it in more details in this webinar session. Considering your packed agenda, we really appreciate the time you're giving to us and our audience. Going back to the history a little bit, Liferay and Škoda collaboration kicked off almost 10 years ago. Next year, we will have the 10th anniversary. Škoda Space Portal that you will present today is almost the same age. It kicked off a little bit later on, but it's been quite a long period. You guys have been utilizing Liferay technology for your intranet project, okay? I will give you the mic in a few seconds, but before you kick off, just wanted to ask you, how did it feel when you were given a role of product owner for this project?
Yeah, hello to you all also from my side. And if I get to the question, I would say honored and very aware of the responsibility. I stepped into the PO role in late 2025, inheriting the platform with millions of interactions dependent on every day. And my focus was twofold. First, stabilize and de-risk operations, and second was to re-energize the roadmap around clear employee value, AI search with the summaries, and redefine the homepage. Challenging, but also interesting.
Okay, that's good to hear, and I hope you enjoy the journey together with your team. Thank you for giving us this insight, and I'm passing the mic to you. Please introduce us with your Škoda Space project that you based on Liferay DXP. Thank you, Barbara.
Yeah, thank you, and let's dive in. Today, I would like to show you or share with you how we transformed our digital employee experience with Liferay. Very practically, from the perspective of our colleagues, from the perspective what our colleagues see every day, every single day, when they open their computer. I will focus on what made the biggest difference for our 4,000 people, and not talk only about the technology, but also what's behind it. Well, a quick structure before we dive in. We will cover why we needed the change in 2019, what were the key goals, what Liferay enabled, the outcomes, lessons learned, and also in the end, what's next for Škoda Space. Before we dive into the internet transformation, let me briefly introduce Škoda Auto, because I don't know all of you participants, so just really shortly. We are one of the most all these car manufacturers in Europe, maybe I would say worldwide, because we were founded in 1895. Yeah, now we are part of the Volkswagen Group. Today we operate in more than 100 markets, and Škoda Auto employs over 40,000 people, which is such a large and diverse workforce for the digital communication and access to information, and it's really essential to us. And that's exactly why our internet transformation became such a strategic topic for us. Now, let's take the look on Škoda Space itself. As I said, Škoda Space is the very first screen every employee sees when they start their computer. Is their daily home base. On homepage, which you can see on the screen, the corporate communications manages the main communication area, but also our employees with the right permissions can also publish their internal updates. So this is dedicated mainly to the communication. But on the right-hand side, colleagues or we can see our personal tasks, approvals, and HR requests, which allows us to solve the most HR-related administration online. Also, you can find some links, like useful links and so on there. The most used part of the portal is the app navigator in the right top corner, and this is giving access to all employees to hundreds of Škoda Autos applications. So, in practice, Škoda Space is a place our employees go to every day. They stay informed there, and they get things done there. Well, our initial situation, it was an aging, internally bounded internet, complex to maintain with scattered tools, content sprawl, I would say insufficient for our growth. So the vision was like simple to say, harder to build. It should be the single entry point that's personalized, multilingual, secure, mobile, helpful for daily work across regions, roles, departments. Before we look how we did the transformation or what were the results of the transformation, we had to choose the technology. And here I would like to explain why we chose Liferay DXP as the core platform for Škoda Space. Since our environment is extremely complex, thousands of pages, hundreds of applications, multiple identity systems, and also, on the other hand, the very diverse workforce, the platform needed to be flexible, secure, and stable, and also practical for the workforce to be used every day. So I would highlight the right fits for us we had with Liferay. It was, I want to mention 7 of them. First, it was the deep integration capabilities, because Liferay allow us to connect business critical system in seamless way, even if they sit on the top of the different technologies. Second, we needed secure and flexible architecture. With this number of employees accessing sensitive internal information, security is really absolutely essential. So it's clear that Liferay gives us the enterprise-grade security, granular permissions, and full role-based control. Third, we put a lot of emphasis on high customizability with low-code, no-code tools. This was important not only for IT, but especially for us business. So our communication teams and local editors across the company can create or update content easily using just drag and drop page building, reusable widgets, and templates. Fourth, it was the personalization at scale. We needed hundreds of employee groups with different needs, from production to logistics, R&D, HR, finance, and also our external employees. So the Liferay enables us to tailor the experience that they have, that they get relevant content and tools. And I would say that this was the biggest driver of the adoption. Also, what's next is the strong support for employee experience. Liferay, the platform, is not only, but mainly, I would say, built for internet, portless operational scenarios. And things like self-service, internet communication, knowledge-based sharing, or productivity. So it's not just a CMS pretending to be an internet. It's really designed exactly for this, for our use case. And finally, it was also considered the cost efficiency. Liferay lets us reuse the platform for multiple projects. For example, in our case, from the internet to public websites that we have, and this somehow reduces the system duplication. It lowers the maintenance costs, and for a company of our size, this really makes the huge difference. So overall, I would say that choosing Liferay wasn't only about some single feature. It was about finding the platform that gives us stability, flexibility, also the possibility to personalize, while supporting strong governance and editor autonomy. And now, if we would take a look how we transformed our internet with Liferay. On this slide, you can see that Škoda Space, what Škoda Space really delivers thanks to Liferay. On the left, the main outcomes. After the transformation, we provided a personalized homepage for, I think it's about 320-something user groups. We provide access to more than 700 applications, also a modern mobile-first interface, and also multi-language support. We also unified the communication layer, and we can create new sites much faster, which helps us to scale the portal. On the right side, you can see the key capabilities behind it. The strong mobile adoption, really. We have more than 45% visits from mobile devices. It's also the deep integration with internal tools, with our systems, our HR tools. Also, I need to emphasize again the personalization, flexible templates and workflows, and ongoing search improvements that make finding information much easier. In short, I would say that Liferay enabled us to run and personalized, integrated, and mobile-friendly digital workplace where which the employees can use as their daily starting point. And with all of this, let's look at the real-world impact. The biggest improvement was much easier access to tools and information. People no longer jump between multiple systems. Everything they start in one place on the Škoda Space. Also from that, we achieved higher transparency across departments. We removed a lot of small operational frictions that also used to slow down people, I have to say. Next point, like the real result, is the satisfaction. We increased our user satisfactions, our employee satisfaction we increased that from like really low satisfaction to 4 stars out of 5 stars. So I think that this was really the milestone we remember. Also, if I have to talk, for example, in my case about my colleagues, it's really the helper that the daily task completion becomes really noticeably faster. And importantly, I have to also mention not only my colleagues, like the white collars, but also the shift-based workers. For them, it's really crucial to have the Škoda space on mobile, and they sign in, they use it. I would not say like every day, but really often. And it's the numbers on the right side. We get about 38,000 visits per day, and with 18,000 unique users every day. So I think that this is really a number that says it all. As I said, many of the accesses are from mobile devices, and all these numbers led us to calculate the time saved per week. And now we are saying that past few years, it helped us to save more 22 minutes per week on each employee. And also what really speaks out is the saved paper for every year, because it's almost 10 tons of saved paper every year because of the digitalization, that we don't have the papers everywhere. You are able to find something or to do something directly on Škoda Space. So these are the like real measurable results that I would say show how strongly the internet can impact the efficiency and employee experience. Also, let me share a few lessons learned that were absolutely essential in making this transformation successful. Honestly, some of these we have learned the hard way. First, it was the content governance, that it is really critical. We have really a lot of editors, a lot of people that can create their own content. And on a platform of this size, I think that without clear ownership and rules, content becomes chaos very quickly. So it's not only enough to build a great internet, you need to structure, process, and the responsibility editors to keep the information relevant and up to date. Second, lessons learned is about stakeholders. You should engage them very early. We involved HR, communications, and IT. Also, I remember that social partners were involved because all of them shape how employees work with the information. And when these groups co-create, collaborate the experience instead of only reviewing it, and reviewing it at the end, the adoption is much faster and the solution better fits to real needs of our employees, of your employees. Talking about the adoption needs continuous attention. Launching the internet is definitely not the finish line, it's the starting line. You need to train, talking about our experience, because it's our lessons learned. We needed the training, local champions, reminders, support materials, and a lot of ongoing communication campaigns. People don't change their habits overnight, so it's constantly what really you have to be, it really matters, I would say. The fourth lessons learned is search. For us, a small pain point, to be honest, because search is a journey, I would say. It doesn't magically work well just because the platform is modern and you have the best content. So we continuously tuned indexing, synonyms, ranking, and metadata. You know that good search can save a lot of time, but it requires a long-term care. It's one of those areas where small improvements make the big difference, big impact. And finally, treat the internet as a product, not as a project. And I would emphasize this because the project ends, product evolves, and employees need change, like especially small changes, content changes, tool changes, and the internet has to keep up. For us, continuous iteration became the mindset. Ship improvements measures the impact, adjust and keep going. This is what really keeps the Škoda space relevant and up to date, and I hope it will also keep it up to date in the future. More something maybe also interesting. I somehow touched that already. But what would we do differently if we would do the transformation again? I would say that we would launch a smaller MVP and iterate faster. Also, at the beginning, we would standardize the templates to hold the content in shape. Definitely, we would invest in analytics from the day one to guide the decisions and to be really like number oriented. What we are doing now, but we didn't do it at the very beginning, we would be more mobile first in the user journeys. You saw the numbers, so I think we didn't expect so many mobile accesses, but we have them. So in the beginning we would be more oriented on the mobile devices. And we would done a governed search earlier to prevent the drift, definitely. What about the best practices? I would say start with the employees, not with the technology. Persona-based design, but not only like design talking about the front end, but designing the whole portal. Measure business impact, like time saved, adoption, friction removed, and so on. Keep navigation instantly simple. People want to get the things done. Prioritize the high usage of integrations first. That's what really makes the difference. Yes, and what I said about the mobile, so make the mobile first. And what we did, but I would support that, is the communication. So communicate constantly, awareness, dryness, and adoption. So these principles guide how we build and evolve our internet. Speaking of evolution, let's look at the latest innovation we are introducing at Škoda Space, because we are investing in AI-driven personalization and AI search with summaries, so people can spend even less time looking, searching, and to spend more time doing. We are exploring voice-based search and task execution, improving notification and recommendation logic, and also expanding microsites and digital communities to all keep the experience proactive rather than reactive. On the right side, you can see our new virtual assistant, which will be integrated to our homepage and will help all the employees with their queries. Well, and we are almost at the end of my monologue. And to wrap it up, here are some key messages from our transformation. So sometimes I already said that, but I think that this should be really important. So start with the people, not the technology. The internet only works if it responds to real employee needs. This is our experience because, as I said, our workforce is very diverse. We have many employees in the direct area, in the production area. So you should really pay attention to them. Second is the personalization at scale. It really matters. Tailoring content and tools for different groups have been one of the strongest drivers of the engagement. Third, it's the integrations, because the integrations may also break the experience. So pay attention to them. And in our case, Škoda Space is really one reliable entry point to all business tools, and it changes the daily work of the employees. Fourth, treat the internet as living product, not the project. Governance, analytics, and of course, the continuous improvements are essential to keep it relevant and up to date, as I said. And finally, the impact is measurable. Higher transparency, faster tasks, strong mobile usage. This clears the efficiency gains, and it shows that the investment pays off. Well, and I think that we are almost at the end, and now I would like to hand over to you back, Andrea, or maybe if we have a question, some questions.
Thank you, Barbara. You really had interesting monologue, as you called it. Okay.
Yes.
Good insights, about the challenges and the benefits from the project space, and how you're actually guys utilizing it, and you're heavily utilizing it on the daily basis. Okay, we've got some questions, and I will read them for you. So if you can just provide the answer. So the first question is from Jonas. So Jonas, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. So the question is, Barbara, for a broad purpose platform, how did you organize ownership for corporate communications, HR, operations?
Yeah, I will answer really practically. We have our stakeholders, we have more meetings with them, so they are in the topic. Talking practically, as I said, once a month we have an hour meeting with the stakeholders, like communication, also our IT partners. Also, we have some representatives from production, from the direct area. We discuss the improvements, we discuss what is the feedback, for example, from the employees, or if in that moment we are facing some troubles, we discuss it there. And I take it with me because I'm the single point of contact, I would say, and then I try to somehow make those decisions or points from the discussion to take with me and to do something with them, if it somehow answers the question.
I hope it does. Jonas, you can confirm to us. And then we will move on the next question from Adrian. How many people are maintaining the content and how many the platform?
Yeah, so the platform, we have 3 people on the business side. We had a smaller team, but nowadays we have about 7 or 8 people on the IT side, like developers. But I would not say so. This is the best practice. This is a situation which is ongoing here. But previously we had like 3 people on the business side, 3 people on the IT side. And talking about the content, you will not believe, but we have, I'm not really sure about the number, but hundreds. I think it's about 1,016 editors that are able to create the content, talking about the news, for example, you can see on this slide, but also about informational pages. I think that plenty of them really prepare their informational pages, because I would say that every topic we have in the Škoda Auto has its content on the Škoda space, so everyone from the company can find find the answers to their questions there.
Thank you, Barbara. Another question is, I would say it's also connected to the previous one, roughly how many developers and how many editors are working on your new intranet? And I think you gave the insight there. The question from the same person is, how long did it take to have a first MVP? And how long was the way to go from MVP to final Škoda spaces?
Yeah, and I'm really sorry, but I'm not sure because I was not involved in the project. And I'm afraid that I would not correctly answer. So if we can get back to this question, and I will get the answer here, because as Andrea said in the beginning, it was almost 10 years ago. So I don't really know this like beginning of the story, I would say, in this specific questions about the timing.
Thank you, Barbara. Makes sense, and appreciate the feedback. I would just ask the attendee to write the, let's say, the question with his name, because this is the anonymous post. So to be able to answer, we would need the info. Okay. Nico has asked, what do you guys use for the analytics? Liferay Analytics or the third-party tool?
We use, to be honest, the third party. We use Pivik Pro. But if I think that it's just something that's coming, that was the decision that was made like company wide, because we have some analytics also on other websites with the Pivik Pro. But on the other hand, I mentioned that we moved also from, like, we have Liferay on our internet on the Škoda space, but we also have it on other sites. And on those sites, we have also third-party analytics, but we use Google Analytics there.
Thank you, Barbara. Another question from Nico is about the collaboration with the external vendors. So do you work with an external Liferay service provider, or do you do everything yourself?
We do everything, like the developers are externals, but we don't have, but we have them like in-house. So they are not internal Škoda employees, but they are our team. We don't have any like external provider.
Okay. Another question. Oh, you're getting questions more and more, Barbara. Okay. I will not have the time to ask my own. Okay. Part is asking, there is many content editors. How did you migrate older content?
Yeah, we didn't migrate all that content because we get those editors during the time, because the old internet, the old portal had like, I think it was, this is the number I know, it was like 100 or something editors, and the content, it was really hard for them to create the content because we needed a lot of content. So then we decided to democratize the platform and to give the editor permission to almost everyone who is able to edit something. So we didn't have that much content before. This is something that happened like in the past few years.
Thank you, Barbara. And another question is about the infrastructure. This is from Miroslav. Do you guys use OpenShift or standalone deployment of Liferay instances?
I'm not really sure that I understand. Sorry, this is a little bit technical for me. Maybe if someone can, no, I'm not sure, Amanda, if you could somehow help me to understand the question, but I don't get that.
I
Sorry.
think, yeah, I think I'm also like I can follow up with Miroslav from like what kind of subscriptions you guys are using. Actually, Miroslav, Škoda is utilizing self-hosted deployment on the physical servers. Okay.
Yes, that's the question. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. Okay. Yeah, that's what he was asking for. Okay, another question from Nico. You talked about integration of 400-ish applications. Does this mean just providing links to applications or real integration like dashboards with live data?
Both. We have some application that it's only redirecting you to the application because we have some, of course, in Škoda Auto, but also we have the live integrations, the real integrations. For example, I mentioned task, we call it task manager, that you see your personal tasks coming from like Jira, qualifications, and so on. So this is the real integration. Also, we have some integration with our with the external world, I would say, because here in Škoda Auto we have a provider of the catering, and people, you pay with your MFA card, our employee card, and we have an integration with their system, with the system of the catering provider, so people can display everything they purchase in the catering or in the canteen, and you see it on Škoda Space. So you see what you have spent your employee MFA money on for the past months.
Okay, it's real time. Okay, thank you for this. Another question, I'm not sure, but maybe Mooney can also explain. The question is how it is useful for any SEO website.
SEO is meaning like the external ones, not for employees, but for like
the SEO is a search engine optimization or something else. But if Mooney, you can give us a little bit more insights, we would appreciate it. Okay. Until then, we'll move to the next question, Barbara, if it's okay for you.
Yeah.
Do you have a content that is provided in different translations? Like
yes,
content in probably in different languages, or do you have content only in one language?
We have it. And like standard is 2 languages, Czech and English. But sometimes we also have it in German or Polish. But like the majority is in English and Czech.
Okay, so Mooney was referring to the search engine optimization, but I still don't understand what is the question here. Like, is the SEO important here or something else? Okay, little bit more meat, Mooney, if it's possible. Okay, by then, what I wanted to ask you also, Barbara, and I hope we still have some time, is you said before this you were actually utilizing heavy legacy systems and having these communication silos. What were the biggest challenges you faced when you were moving away from them?
I would say the combination of technical complexity and the content chaos. On the technical side, we have integrated many systems and discuss. And on the communication side, the content was not scattered. It was duplicated and owned by different teams. So the real turning point came when we introduced that clear governance, I would call that. We modernized the rules and we unified the communication under corporate communication. Because in the beginning, to be honest, we were not aligned with them, and I'm talking about the beginning, like really 10 years ago. So now it's definitely something else. It's the clear governance for a few years, but in the beginning it was like divided corporate communications and the rest. So we unified the communication. We still keeping the space for the employee guaranteed content, of course. But for example, on the top, like the biggest picture you can see on the screen, where is the Škoda mobile, which is our internal newspaper. This is the part that is only managed by the corporate communication. So there the employees can be sure they really find what is important to all the employees. So yeah, I would say that this is the combination of the complexity and the chaos. It was something we really had to face.
And it was fixed. That's a good one. You were referring a lot to, like persona design approach, which is actually rather important. You are serving a huge amount of the employees, okay? Like you said, different user groups. Beside the analytics you are utilizing probably to get the insights about the behavior of the content and different processes, are there any other ways how you actually do you ask the feedback from your employees? What collecting, for example, the ideas, what they would like to get more, because you are serving them, okay? So they're actually your real living clients, let's call it like that. So it's really important to serve them what they need. How do you manage it?
We are definitely collecting the feedback continuously. As I said, we have the meetings with the stakeholders and they bring the feedback there also. So it's like in person sharing the feedback and discussing that. But also we run satisfaction surveys and it's important we share the results internally. We have some like always specific concrete follow-ups. We collect the ideas through the portal, of course, and also we do editor workshops and meetups. So we also get the feedback there because, as I said, the number of the editors is really high. They sometimes have really good ideas, and we have to collect that feedback, but also not only collect, but to do something with that. So it's maybe sometimes you have to keep that in mind, that it's not only about the collecting the feedback, but also to do something with the feedback.
Makes sense. Clear. It's like it has to be actionable and it has to have its own the goal, sort of, one more question related to the user experience and actually the usage itself. How did you see any changes of the adoption of Space Portal throughout the years? I don't know, maybe like certain peak years, maybe COVID, for example, the recent one, or even today with the hybrid work?
I would not say so that the COVID somehow changes the approach of the employees with that, of course, because in the ages of COVID, Škoda Space was in that age the one place where you would find all the information. So I think that people were used to it, to use it only like the single entry point to find everything there. So the COVID didn't change much, I would say. But I would say that the adoption and being really honest, the adoption is like it didn't skyrocket on day one. As I said, I was not in the project, but I can comment that because I remember that from my like different position. So from day one, people were that satisfied with the Škoda Space, and I would say it's completely normal. In the beginning, Škoda Space and the old portal ran in parallel, and it took employees some time to switch their habits and to really trust the new solution. So the initial adoption was slower, simply because people were used to the old legacy environment. But over the time, We improved the user experience, simplified the navigation, and definitely it was the optimization of the search which made the big difference. And we made the daily tasks easier for the users. And that was the moment the adoption grew up really fast. So today it's not only used by the office workers, white collar workers, as I said, but it's really worked by the factory teams, by the shift workers, and the feedback is really positive. But the journey wasn't instant. But the long-term adoption and the satisfaction is something I think you should want. So you have to count the adoption in company like ours, really rigid, I would say, or with a big number of direct personnel. You need to think about the change slightly differently, because not everyone is open to change. But if you provide a really good solution, people get used to it, and they become satisfied. Yes.
Makes sense. And this is this, let's say, change journey that goes also like doesn't have the constant up, how to say, up, sorry, looking for the word, way, but it also goes down, like you said, because it's something new, you need to understand it and so on. We have 3 more questions. I want to ask you, Barbara, if you have some more time, or Alina, to tell us if we can utilize it just to answer. There are some questions that came in. Alina, are we good to go?
Yeah, sure, we can still answer them.
Okay, so for Wolfgang, Wolfgang is asking that he's really interested in the way of integrating AI in search and personalization, especially in user stories, reached goals, and eventually use KPIs to measure the success. Can you share any insights on this?
Yes, I talked about the AI search. We will have it I hope in June on the production. So we don't get that now, to be clear. This is something I talked about what's happened to future that's ahead. And maybe about the integration of the AI. So we have nowadays we have our virtual assistant prepared. It's AI based. It's on the Gemini platform, and this is something that will be placed on the homepage. It's an integration that we will have, and people will find it on the homepage. And this virtual assistant, this Copilot, is integrated to many other systems, and also like databases, I would call that. You can get answers that are related or are on the Škoda space, but also this is integrated to Atlassian, for example, to mention Jira and Wiki. So people will get their answers also from like these databases or these systems. And this is something that I think will really improve the user satisfaction, because it will definitely be the biggest change we had in many years on the Škoda space. So this is it. We will have the chat that is integrated to many information sources, and it will provide the answers about the information. Also, we planned not to have only this I would not call it. This is still like a reactive assistant that is only collecting the information and preparing the answer to the employee. But we also plan to have like a proactive assistant that will guide you through the processes, meaning like he will fill in the forms and help with the daily work routine. Also, you will be able to prepare some like emails and so on. So if you use Copilot, for example, this is something we tend to have on Škoda Space.
Thank you, Barbara. It's going to be really a good virtual assistant for you guys. Another question from Nico. Search is one of our biggest struggles. What would you say are the key success factors for helping users to find what they really want?
Talking about the technology we are able to use now is the semantic search, definitely. But also talking about the past, it was the metadata. It really helped us, and if people could use, for example, tags when they wanted to share their content, the news, for example, you can see. So we have some tags you can use, and then it's much easier for the employees to find something.
Thank you. And the last question that we will pick up, it's one of the two questions that Part shared with us, is about like, does this intranet contain social feed, or it gives experience like a social employee platform, or it's just built for employee productivity? So I would say, long story short, any social components of it, and
We have some social, all the rule is that all the content you want to share on Škoda Space should be somehow related to Škoda Auto. But it can be something social, definitely, because we care about the CSR. So it can be something that's happening around Mladá Boleslav, which is our home base, or it can be something with charity or something like that. So and you can see on in the middle, on the bottom, you can see the fashion show celebrating we had. So this was an event held in the Škoda Museum, but it's not directly connected to Škoda Auto. But a lot of employees attend, so it's there.
Thank you. Barbara, we will have to wrap it up, okay? I do hope I'm saying we, for all of us, enjoyed really the presentation and also the answers you gave us. I hope they were useful for the audience, and I hope you guys got the answers you were looking for, or at least closest to that. Barbara, again, thanks. Alina, any operational talks or sentences at the end?
No, we are all good to go. We will share the recording with you afterwards via email. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us directly.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you for having me.
Thank you, Barbara, for joining us, and thank all the participants also of this webinar. Like I said, I hope it was a good use of your time and you got some new insights and actually good information about this really amazing project that Škoda is running on Liferay technology. Thank you, ladies, both. I wish you all a good rest of the day, and that's all from us. Bye.
Goodbye.